I don't know how it gets me every year, but Christmas is like a ninja these days. When I was a kid, I'd be waiting, well, the whole year until it would come back around again, so it never felt like it came quickly. As an adult, it's just there, like knocking at your door going, all right, I'm due in a couple of days. And with that, we have the Nintendo Switch eShop doing the same thing with some ridiculous sales. There's a bunch in here that I've never mentioned before. There's some of the best discounts ever on some of these games. Your backlog, if it gets through unscathed on this one, I am mightily impressed. Remember, the 12 Days of SwitchUp is starting really soon. That's our series we do each and every year where there's 12 videos. We're also giving away a Nintendo Switch 2 to someone in the US regions, courtesy of one of our subscribers. He's already done it like 4 times. He's an absolute legend. And someone else has bought 3 eShop vouchers as well. So make sure that you are subscribed. If you aren't, leave all your comments down below if you'd like to win a free game for this video. And of course, here is the winner from last week. All right, what are the best games on sale? Well, my name's Mark Walker. Welcome back to SwitchUp. Now let's find out. This episode is sponsored by Raycon, and if you're looking for a gift for the holiday season, I've been using their new earbuds. They're called Raycon's Essential Open Earbuds, and it's coincided perfectly with taking up running. Now, like anyone plus 40, I thought, you know, what's the latest thing for me? And I took up a bit of running. I say a bit, I took up a lot of running. But the problem is my old earbuds that go in your ear blocked out all sound, and it was a little bit dangerous. These ones just sit by them, and they give you that perfect sound quality, but let you hear everything.
There's up to 20% off site-wide during the holiday season.
And there'll be a link in the description so you can check them out. They're also very light, they hook round the ear, and yes, they do stay in because of that hook, but you can end up not even knowing you're wearing them. And it's one of those where I liked their last product, but I like this one even more. It's probably why they've got about 3 million different customers. The sound quality, I was surprised that it was as good as it was with that format. You have the same multi-point connection as before, so you can connect to multiple devices, 36 hours of battery life with 8 hours of playtime. I have tested that as well. I was rock climbing till 10 o'clock last night and I'd used them all day long, so happy days.
You can head to our link, it's buyraycon.com/switchup open. There's up to 20% off site-wide during the holiday season.
Thank you to Raycon for sponsoring this episode. Let's kick things off with Ruffy and The Riverside, which is an old school style 3D platformer. It feels like it could have come straight out of the N64 era. However, they've gone for a completely different, quite unique art style that has like a flat character, almost like a sprite character on top of a 3D world. We have seen other games do this, like it's not the first to try this style, but it's certainly done it very well. Now, my point with this one is that on Switch 1, it's had a bunch of patches and it runs all right with quite a few drops. It has to be said, there are some performance issues. On Switch 2, it's much better. So they actually released an update recently to specifically try and get 60 FPS on Switch 2, and it gets close, but yeah, again, you will see a few drops. If you've not watched our all patched up series, maybe go check that out, because I think it was in the most recent one, or maybe the one before. But Ruffy and the Riverside, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It has some nice mechanics in it, a little bit of gliding around the environments, looking for secrets as well. Always a good time. And it's currently 30% off until about the 31st, so like the end of the year, and that's in all regions. The Tomb Raider games all have sales on at the moment, so you know they did the collections, the re-releases. I think this one is Tomb Raider 4 to 6, I believe, and it's £16.24 here in the UK, 35% off, again in all regions until Christmas, or the day after Christmas actually. And yeah, we have a full review of these. I did enjoy them, it was really nice to go back to them. I think I possibly prefer 1 to 3 just because of the nostalgia factor. Going back specifically to Tomb Raider 2, man, that game holds up. I know the controls might seem a bit janky, and they do have modern controls here if you'd like to use those. But yeah, there's something about them I just enjoy. I like the clunkiness to a degree. So if you'd like to try out 4 to 6 or 1 to 3, I think they're on sale as well, so you can go and have a look. At the moment, the cheapest have been 35% off until December the 26th.
Good luck, Clara. I feel you.
Hitman: The World of Assassinations for the Nintendo Switch 2 is currently down to its cheapest. It's 20% off until the 14th of December or the 15th over in North American regions. It's featured very heavily in that all patched up series. They kept going back to it. I love to see it actually. Even down to improving overall performance in things like handheld. They introduced a 30 FPS mode, so if you'd rather have the frame rate at 30 and make sure it has no drops, you can do that now with a toggle in the options. It's really nice to see. It is a good way of playing it. It's a lovely looking game. And there's that quality New Zealand level where you're on the beach and you're going towards the person's like very expensive house. It's one of those that you can spend a lot of time and almost like chip away at it. So you can just do one level and really take your time trying to hit that very best rank, which generally involves no one being able to see you at all. You're like a ghost, you ghost your way in. No one gets hurt. Well, almost no one gets hurt, and then you make your way back out again. Love the game, definitely worth it for that price. Really good to see Soul Reaver. If you're not sure what Soul Reaver is, A Legacy of Kain, there were actually two games. There was a game on the PlayStation, that was just Legacy of Kain, wasn't it? I'm sure. It was like a top-down action RPG type of experience. And then you had The Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver, which I think was a PS2 game. And yeah, it was a game changer at the time. It was like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. I remember my parents giving me a disapproving look because they were like, oh Mark, that looks a bit nasty. You know that fear you got when you were a kid when you were worried that your parents wouldn't like something you were playing or watching, so you kind of like switch over to something else or whatever. But yeah, it's not. It's a great game. You play as, is it Raziel? I always say it wrong. Raziel. And he's a vampire. But this does include both Soul Reaver and Soul Reaver 2. It's a great bundle. And within the game, you can shift between two different realms, which is what was its unique and wow factor. It was its unique hook, but it was also like, my goodness, how have they done this? This version, I think, includes a little bit of information about the production. I'm sure it does. I've got a review on the channel, but yeah, we're constantly moving from game to game. I'm playing Metroid. Well, I say I'm playing Metroid Prime 4. I've finished Metroid Prime 4 now. My review is out tomorrow. I have faults. I really do, and I'm trying to be as fair. I don't care about what other people say. I never have. I really haven't. Like if we see a review and it's like IGN giving something a 2, I don't go out of my way to try and give it a 10, and vice versa. If we see them giving something a really good score or the general consensus is this is amazing, we really do try not to do the reactionary review that you see so often. You see people and they're like, oh, this is a 10 out of 10. And you're like, why is it a 10? And they're like, well, it does more of what the first game did. And you're like, yeah, but does that actually make it better? Does it still have that same wow factor? Anyway, I digress. You know what I'm saying. We try and be very fair, and you can expect a very fair review of Metroid Prime 4, the good, the bad, and the in between. But still, Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver 1 and 2 remastered is on its cheapest ever price. Go and pick it up. What an absolute bargain. One of my favorite platform adventure games that no one else seems to like, and this is a prime example of me liking something that other people haven't rated nearly as highly, is Koa and the Five Pirates of Mara. Now, the series as a whole has been tumultuous. They had a game before this that was an RPG, and it was crap. There's no two ways about it. It was rubbish. So people associate the two because it's the same name, or it's got like the same characters, the same world, but they're very different. On this one, it's you're moving between different islands, performing these like platforming things. It feels a little bit like Mario Odyssey in that regard, except you don't have not Mario Odyssey, I mean Mario 64, sorry. But you have these like races against other people, so you're racing through the stages, but then you also have your traditional old school platformer stages. There's a hub world as well, like a hub town area. I just thought it was really fun. And it's not often you get games that are fun these days. It's always like so convoluted. Here it kind of boils it down to what is actually fun to do. Yeah, jumping around these stages, exploring new places, and trying to beat your own times when you're doing those other modes. Yeah, good time at least that I had. £7.19, 60% off until the 21st of December. Thank Goodness You're Here. I'm not just saying that to you. I mean, I am in a way, but Thank Goodness You're Here was released, I don't know, like 6 months ago. It might have even been longer, really. It's 40% off now until the 3rd of January. A very quintessentially British humour game. I think it's published by the same people that published Untitled Goose Game, but it's not the same team that made that. There's sometimes a bit of confusion there. Sometimes I'm the one being confused. But this has hit its lowest price ever and describes itself as a comedy slapformer. There is some puzzling in there as well, but it has the feeling of something that was initially an animation that then got turned into a game, but I don't believe that's the case. But man, you'll hear some cracking accents in here. If you want to hear some good British accents, this is a good game to play. But it has that nostalgic charm to it, almost like a Beano comic or something. Really a good experience, very highly rated, and as I say, its lowest ever price on Thank Goodness You're Here.
With no meat! Now you gotta wait for that useless locksmith. Florence!
Realistically, this is probably one of the hidden gems of the video. It's called Arco. It describes its gameplay as simultaneous turn-based combat. Basically, when you move, the enemy moves. It might sound simplistic, but it really isn't. It starts out like brutal. I was like, how the heck? You know, when you get to those stages and you're like, there's no way. There's just no way. It's not possible. And it, you know, in that regard, for a few moments, it's a bit frustrating. And then something clicks and you're like, oh my giddy aunt, delightful. And that's how I felt with this. We actually played this. We were going to do a review of it. Something came up, but during our playtime, we were like, oh, we're not sure. But something clicks. And when it does, it's like, wow, this is actually really cool. It's got full-on campaigns. You can choose different characters each time, each of which has their own abilities to make that combat a little more, not necessarily easy, but nuanced, I guess, tailored to that character. It's got a full-on storyline as well, just a really enjoyable experience. Arco, at the moment, 40% off, all the way until January. This next one really is a Glen recommendation rather than me, because this is the one that he spoke very highly of. It's El Shaddai Ascension of the Metatron HD Remaster, which, as I'm sure you can tell from the title, is a remaster of an older title. I'm not sure what system it was on. Was it like maybe, no, it was either like mid PlayStation era or it could have been Dreamcast. Something in my head is saying Dreamcast, but it's probably not. You'll have to let me know in the comments. But it's a weird looking action adventure game where you only have 4 buttons. You can jump, attack, you can guard, and then you can do what's called weapons stealing. That's all about very precise timing during those action sequences. With this version, you obviously get full HD support. It's faster to load, it looks better, and yeah, it has a real fan following. Maybe go check out some reviews, but Glen rates it, and for this price, it's its cheapest. It's £7.19, 60% off until December the 14th.
All is as Lucifer has shown.
Another gem then would be Viewfinder. Had I heard of this before this week? No, I hadn't. Has it been my little guilty pleasure? Well, it's not even a guilty pleasure, it's a cracking game. It was one of those where I watched the trailer, actually went on the eShop, saw the sale, it was 40% off, £11.99 until December the 31st. Saw it was its cheapest over on Deku Deals, was like, okay, interesting, let's watch the trailer, and it just instantly sold me. It reminds me of, there was a game called Gorogoa, came out way back in the Switch's life cycle, and it was like a 2D, almost like sliding these weird aspects around, and it shifted your perspective. This time you're in like a 3D environment, but it has a similar feel to it in the regards of framing these moments to aid your exploration. It's like a completely brain-busting first-person adventure, and you're bringing the images to life to essentially change reality. The thing with these games is they're very cleverly designed. Like, it is not easy to build something like this that's both game, allows a bit of freedom, but also has that strange Alice in Wonderland style wonder, I guess, that you should experience with games in general. Yeah, I like this a lot. It's been good so far. Have I finished it? No, I haven't. It's not very long though. I think it's about 6 hours. Well, maybe even a lot shorter than that. So it'll be one of my Christmas finishes. I always have about 3 or 4 games that I just want to like tick off the list by the end of Christmas. I'm sure you're the same. Let me know what yours are down in the comments. But Viewfinder, 40% off until December the 31st.
I must admit, I'm surprised you made it this far.
Achilles LEgends Untold. I played this right when it came out. I was quite surprised. I was like, actually, this is pretty decent. I wasn't expecting much, I have to be honest. It's 70% off at the moment until December the 20th, and it feels like a game from a different era. You know, I mean, you might say it is a game from a different era, and I wouldn't be surprised. But what I did not expect is for it to have almost Souls-like combat. So it has a stamina-based combat system where you're dodging, blocking, but you really do have to pay attention to your stamina. As well as that, it's got an extensive skill tree. It's got passive and active skills. You can upgrade your attributes. It's got a crafting system. It's actually an open world experience with a full-on story. All things which I did not expect. I was expecting like old school linear level by level gameplay. It has online play as well where 2 players can play. And it's about 10 hours for the main story. But if you're a completionist, there's like 25 hours of content. So it's just more here than I expected. And perhaps it might tickle your fancy. I think for the price, it's certainly worth it, isn't it? £5.99, 70% off until December the 20th.
Skilled warriors into an unstoppable force. Meet the hero.
That then, my friends, takes us onto our Savaloy Selection. Our fed cooks, our mince pies, our, I don't know, what's another cheap delicacy that you might have at Christmas? It's got to be a mince pie, hasn't it? I love a mince pie. I remember as a kid, I wouldn't eat them because I thought they had mincemeat in them, like as in actual meat you'd have in a spaghetti bolognese, but no one told me differently. It's out of order. The first game is KO the Kangaroo at just £3.20, 87% off, heavily patched since it first came out. A really nice platformer, good game. Very, very valet, that's going on the list because it's one of the most fun party experiences you can have at just £2.69. Yes, please. Get a bunch of people, stick it on the telly, and just have a laugh while playing games and ignoring all those lemons on Twitter that spend their whole lives just moaning about stuff. Nice. Blazing Beaks. This is another good one. It has 2-player co-op. It feels a little bit like a classic, well, it is a classic roguelite, but there is also a party mode where 4 of you can fight against each other. That's just £2.69. Then you've got Trouberbrook, which is a lovely adventure game, actually. This one's in the EU and Australian regions. It's £2.49. They actually had to create the whole sets here using actual physical things, which I love. It's so cool. It was a bit buggy at launch. I say a bit buggy. Glen hit a bug that he couldn't progress at all, but they did patch that one up, so it should be okay. For £2 or £2 odd, not too shabby at all. And then finally, the hidden gem of the Savaloys, and my second pickup of the week, is a game called Woopo, the definitive edition, which I'm sure has been out on another platform. And with this version, they actually added in a co-op mode, which is nice. It's a weird world filled with what are known as wombs, fnackers, and other creatures. And it has a bit of a puzzle element to it as well as an adventure one, and some action thrown in. I think in 2-player, it's potentially a bit more fun. It's a lovely looking game as well. It's got a very strange art style. And you will be fighting some kind of boss creatures as well. So there we go. That is it for this week. As I said at the start, 12 Days of SwitchUp starts very, very, very soon. So make sure that you are subscribed, your notifications are on. It actually starts on Saturday. So Saturday coming, where if you are taking part, you'll be in with a chance of winning that Switch too. But if you just want to pop in and out, happy days. It's just nice to see everyone. Before then, we've got a bunch of videos to make. It's just going to be absolute carnage for us, which is good, isn't it? You got to get your Christmas, I was going to say Christmas bag. Well, I mean, we will be doing a few sponsored videos to be fair, but realistically, it's just trying to get that good content made so that we can have a nice break, which we don't tend to get until Christmas, and then, well, that's it really. So yeah, thanks so much to our Patreons, our members, all of you that enjoy the content for all things Switch, all the time. Keep it Switch up. Cheers, guys. See ya!